A demand for full transparency. Coming up, we hear from the attorney representing the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, who died last week after riding the Stardust Racers at Epic Universe.
We're keeping tabs on two tropical systems, or at least potential tropical systems, over the next few days. We'll have the latest on the projected paths of these guys, and also take a look at some of the afternoon storms bubbling up in a few minutes.
The former elementary school teacher who got in trouble at a teenage party, once off probation. I'll show you Carly Anderson having another day in court coming up.
The city of Kissimmee wants to revitalize Vine Street, and they want your input. We'll tell you what their plans are, including what's going to happen to this old Kmart.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
He had called me that same morning as he arrived to the theme park, expressing how excited he was to be there.
For the first time, we are hearing from the family of the man who died after riding a roller coaster at Universal's newest theme park, Epic Universe.
This afternoon, they are pushing for answers. Their attorney, Ben Crump, is suggesting there might have been something wrong with the seat's restraints.
Your Orange County community correspondent Mike Valenti joins us now live outside Epic Universe. And Mike, they actually want to see the video footage of what happened here.
Yeah, guys, they do. And not only that, they want to see, they said that Universal, if it wanted to, today could release that video footage depicting Kevin's final moments. So far, Universal has opted not to do that. Right now, Ben Crump and his co-counsel are basing their claims off their conversations with witnesses who tell them, according to Crump, that Kevin's head hit the metal on the ride and that he was unconscious for most of the ride. You remember that the medical examiner's office said Kevin died from multiple blunt impact injuries. Again, these attorneys have not seen the autopsy results or any video footage, but after talking with witnesses and consulting experts in the field of amusement parks, they believe the restraints had failed Kevin. The Universal COO said in a letter to staff this week that the ride functioned as intended, that the equipment was intact, and that team members followed procedures. Crump and his co-counsel have said in the press conference today that at no point did any employee caution Kevin about getting on the ride before he and his girlfriend boarded it. When we had time for questions, I followed up on that. You mentioned something about the team members, how they never said anything to Kevin. Is it your opinion that they should have advised him not to get on the ride? And I do ask that because Epic Universe's own guidelines say that if you have a history of back issues or neck issues, that it's not recommended to get on the Stardust Racers. Do you anticipate that being their defense in all this?
Never happened. They never said anything to him about restrictions or anything.
The park knew of his limitations. They helped transfer him onto the ride. If the park is going to take a position that he should not have been on the ride, they should not have assisted him to get in.
So Kevin's family says that Kevin had been on roller coasters countless times without incident. He never had an issue despite being in a wheelchair. They believe that this incident had no way had anything to do with his pre-existing spinal injury. That's something that attorney Ben Crump underscored several times throughout this long press conference. You can just imagine how emotional Kevin's family was during this, their first time speaking publicly about their loved one. You'll hear more from them tonight at 5 and 6. I do want to note also, after the press conference, we reached out to Universal just to see if they had anything to say specifically about the claims regarding the restraints or anything about the press conference in general. We will let you know if and when we hear back. For now, we're live outside Universal. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. The tropics are heating up. Two developing systems are quickly becoming the main focus. This is something you'll want to keep your eye on.
Yeah, meteorologist Jonathan Kagis joins us now with what we can expect. Jonathan.
Yeah, and I'm cautiously optimistic that neither of these are going to come to Florida directly, but keeping a close eye because we keep on talking about the close proximity of these two are no doubt going to impact what happens to the other. Now, the one positive note, I think anyway, is if we get this one to develop first, it may help to tug this one a little bit further out to sea as well. And this one is certainly more organized Gemini's. Both of these have a high chance to become named storms over the next 7 days. The deal with this wave that we're watching in the Caribbean, its projected path of movement is going to be towards the mountainous regions of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. You see the latest modeling on that going to the west and then eventually trying to tug up to the west, to the northeast. We will watch that closely, but it may not survive the mountains here as we move over to parts of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Also watching for these southern models. We do not want this thing to get into the Western Caribbean at any cost, so we're going to keep a close eye on that. We'll talk much more about the steering currents with this and take a look at those thunderstorms that are outside right now, coming up at about 4:17.
Jonathan, thank you. Now to a developing story in Dallas, where a gunman shot 3 detainees at an ICE facility early this morning before taking his own life. 2 of the victims died. The other person is in critical condition. The FBI called it a targeted attack against ICE. Officials say the gunman, armed with a rifle, opened fire on the center from a rooftop across the street. FBI Director Kash Patel posted a photo online of what he says are the suspect's unused shell casings, one with a handwritten message that says anti-ICE.
There will be no resource not utilized to bring all those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable.
Now, this is the 3rd attack at a Texas immigration facility in the past few months. No law enforcement officers were hurt in today's shooting.
The teacher who said she was hanging out at a party with more than 100 teenagers thinks that she has been punished enough. Your Cocoa Beach community correspondent James Barbero joins us from court, where this former teacher hopes to end her sentence early.
The former elementary school teacher convicted of resisting an officer
put me in handcuffs
and disorderly intoxication.
You're here with your boss having a party with 200 kids who are drinking.
The night of an underage party at the principal's house is back in court trying to get off probation. In May, Judge Kim Musselman sentenced Carly Anderson, formerly of Teddy Roosevelt Elementary, to a year of probation. But earlier this month, I talked to Anderson's attorney, and he told me the ex-teacher had already satisfied the terms of her probation, so he told me it should end early.
Yes, this is Carly Anderson. Good morning.
Ken Weaver hoped to make that argument to Judge Ben Garagoslo, but all of a sudden, the judge postponed this hearing to next week. The court was waiting on a ruling to give Anderson back the $500 she was ordered to give the Children's Advocacy Center. Weaver argued while the party involved minors, Anderson's charges did not.
She's done everything she's supposed to do. It's time for her probation to be terminated.
Anderson didn't talk to reporters after court, so I asked Weaver about her intentions.
Does Carly want to teach again? Is that why she wants to get off probation?
I don't know what Carly wants to do.
Do you think Carly's been treated fairly throughout her prosecution?
No.
Do you want to elaborate?
No, I'm good. I'll see you guys later.
We'll let you know when the court confirms Anderson's new court date. She's also appealing her conviction. As for the former principal who hosted the party, Elizabeth Hill Brodigan's trial is not scheduled yet. In Brevard County, I'm your Cocoa Beach community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
In a little more than an hour, another Central Florida community is set to discuss renaming a road after Charlie Kirk. Last night, Lake County leaders decided to rename a stretch of Schofield Road in Kirk's honor, but not without an explosive debate.
And let's look at the
we at 3 minutes?
Unite and not divide us.
How dare you?
All right.
How dare you?
All right.
Disgusting. You're a disgusting person.
Tonight, it's the city of Melbourne's turn. The mayor wants to rename a stretch of Cypress Avenue to Charlie Kirk Lane. That meeting starts at 5:30.
With all the talk of growth and expansion in Osceola County, preserving neighborhood charm sometimes gets lost in the mix. The city of Kissimmee is trying to strike a balance with the Vine Street Community Redevelopment Area projects. And tonight at 5, there's a meeting at Kissimmee City Hall for community input. Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee shows us how they are trying to turn part of Vine Street in Kissimmee into a place to call home.
What I don't see around here is a good park for the kids.
Manuel Robusto is happy to hear that the city of Kissimmee wants to improve part of Vine Street. He wants his kids to grow up in a more community environment. Baby Belcanis will be 17 years old when this multi-million-dollar project is complete in the year 2042. The Vine Street Community Redevelopment Area is working on a plan to improve the area, and they want your input. The part of Vine Street they want to make more community-friendly is a 5-mile stretch starting around the Valencia College area at Danjon Street and ends up near the tourist area near Medieval Times. That's right across the street from Jumping Caribbean Cuisine. The owners opened up just 7 months ago, hoping to be at the start of a booming area.
We're starting to see a lot of locals, which is a good thing, but we also see a lot of tourists.
The Vine Street Community Redevelopment Area encompasses 1,064 acres of non-residential space, 6 million gross square feet of commercial space, and a potential of over 250 million total square feet of commercial space. And about 5,000 people live in the immediate area. I'm on Vine Street in Kissimmee, not too far from John Young Parkway. Behind me here, this old building, well, that used to be the Kmart. The city of Kissimmee purchased this land, and they're hoping that eventually there'll be housing and also businesses here. Samia Singleton is the Vine Street CRA manager and says you can expect to see more landscaping and greenery, apartments and houses, and local businesses.
We also have incentive programs and grants to attract private investment. So if you bring your business to the CRA area, we have programs that can help you.
It will be better to have more apartments because coffee shop we have everywhere.
Well, I'm pretty sure the city of Kissimmee will be watching this, so they'll get your idea.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Say bye-bye.
On Vine Street in Kissimmee, I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
We are just days away from our very own Trooper Steve trying to make it to the very end of a wild obstacle course on a tandem bike.
Yeah, what you can expect from the event set to bring thousands to Central Florida. That's coming up.
Stressful. The road is stressful.
There is a plan to ease all of that traffic stress. The 15-mile expressway that could one day make your daily drive a little easier. That's next.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez. The Central Florida Expressway is considering connecting Point Siena Parkway to the Turnpike. While residents here say relief can't come soon enough, it's still likely years away. Osceola County is booming, projected to hit a population of 410,000 in 2025. It's actually a little over 468,000, and it could double by 2040. And with more people comes more cars and increased drive times.
It's something that if I have to go to VA in the morning, I have to leave out of my house at, 5 o'clock in the morning just to get there at 7? The traffic is too much.
But the Southport Connector project is aiming to make it easier to get around. It would create a 15-mile expressway connecting Point Siena Parkway to the Turnpike, while also widening Cypress Parkway to 6 lanes. Do you think the project will be beneficial for traffic flow?
Oh, yeah. If they do it, yeah. If they do it, it's pretty good. It might calm down a little.
Some have opposed the elevated expressway in the middle of Cypress Parkway.
Nobody really wants it, especially the people in Sola Vita, because it's going to bring the value down of our homes, because they're saying it's going to be a wall.
Despite the concerns, Carmen Boos, who attended one of the meetings on the project, feels it's necessary to improve the constant congestion.
Every time you go on the road, even where it used to be 10-15, it's now half an hour. So it's stressful. The road is stressful.
In December, the Central Florida Expressway will present a recommendation to approve the project before its board. If approved, I'm told the design phase could take up to 5 years, and then construction could take anywhere between 4 and 5 years, meaning it'll be a long time before the first car drives on this potential new expressway. I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
All right, here's something that has a lot of people talking about it on clickorlando.com. A legal group is sending a demand letter to Orange County Public Schools over a Witchy Wednesday video series at a local high school. In a release, the group Liberty Counsel said the series aired with the morning announcements and students produced it. This happened at West Orange High School. The group said it includes spells, magic, and discussing moon phases. We spoke to them about the demand letter earlier today.
We raised concerns, constitutional issues. We asked that those that wanted to opt out be allowed to opt out, and also that those who wanted a opposite viewpoint to be able to have the opportunity for students to do the same thing, but from a different viewpoint.
After asking for a response from the district, school leaders told them the segment has been discontinued. News 6's Tylisa Hampton is speaking with parents and students about this on News 6 at 5.
All right, we want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. He, of course, is tracking those 2 blobs in the tropics for us right now.
That's a technical term.
Yes.
That's right. And one of those blobs now has a name, guys. Umberto was just named by the National Hurricane Center. So we're going to get a fresh forecast package from the Hurricane Center within the next 30 to 45 minutes. They're working on that now. But this one here is Umberto, so not the blob in the Eastern Caribbean. That's the one that we're paying a little more close attention to. It's this one here, and certainly looks like the part, no doubt, with the outflow, the jagged cloud-covered deck right there, and then the thunderstorms around the center. So we can officially have Tropical Storm Umberto. This one is likely going up and out toward Bermuda. Again, I'll show you that 5 o'clock advisory as soon as that comes down from the National Hurricane Center. Locally, we are tracking a few thunderstorms, certainly not as prolific as last night. I don't anticipate that to happen either. We're going to watch the stuff that we have in East Orange County, hanging around Apopka. Again, that's been a popular place for the storms, at least over the last 24 hours. It's going to start to work to the west. We have the West Coast sea breeze kind of lighting up just to the west of I-75 as well. That's going to march toward I-4. We'll likely see a few more thunderstorms erupt again. Don't think as widespread as last night either. I think Future Radar doing a nice job. That's 7 to 8 o'clock, so I do think there will be storms around, especially close to I-4 at that time. And then we'll see these fizzle out. We'll do it again tomorrow, I think, at a much higher percentage. There we go at 11 o'clock on your Thursday morning. I think we're dry through the morning, dry through the early afternoon. 1 to 2 o'clock, we'll start to fire things back up. There's 7 with some action getting going again, and I think some of these could linger late. That's 11 o'clock. Future Radar still depicting again. Couple of downpours in the mix. We're dry on the coast. One of the Disney ships heading back out. Port Canaveral, Brevard County, live look with our Launch Credit Union camera. Temperatures back to the upper 80s right now. We have a mainly clear sky, just a few of those puffy clouds bubbling up with the heating of the day. We're at 91 in Oviedo, 92 in Groveland. Holapaw, good evening. We are a toasty 91 degrees. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Temperatures tomorrow back in the low to mid 90s, so we're keeping the thermostat cranked up. Rain chances also back on the rise tomorrow. Back to 60% shot for those storms. Again, we were talking about this just a second ago. We'll see that red blob go away because this one has officially been named. Again, Tropical Storm Umberto. This one should stay up closer to Bermuda and leave the United States alone. We're watching this one. This one is very disorganized right now, and it's going to have a lot of land interaction going for it over the next couple of days. So not anticipating much of any development over the next couple of days. Again, keeping a close eye on it. The European solution here wants to keep both of these relatively close by. And again, you see that little tug there. If the one that is Umberto now continues to get stronger, it will act to tug that further away from land. So that would be the most positive solution out of the very convoluted forecast over the next couple of days we're keeping a close eye on. 60% shot for storms tomorrow. Same deal on Friday. We'll keep chances elevated for rain getting into your weekend as well.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Tandem bikes and a wild obstacle course are getting ready to take over Cranes Roost Park in Altamont Springs.
And our very own traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve, will be there. Will he make it to the end? Of course not. What to expect from the competition next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
A heads up, you can expect to see more traffic in Altamont Springs this weekend.
And it's all for Red Bull's Tandem Roller Coaster event on Saturday. 30 teams of 2 will attempt to cross a difficult obstacle course on creatively designed tandem bikes over water. The key is they can't fall in. The event usually takes place in Europe, but for the first time, it will be right here in Central Florida at Cranes Roost Park. It's free to attend. More than 30,000 people are expected to be there.
think it's really open to, just anybody who's got that vision, who's got a little bit of grit and maybe a little bit of nerve to go and tackle this course.
Grit and nerve. Okay, participants are not only judged on time, but also creativity and sportsmanship.
And that is where our traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve, comes in. He and Sandra Ray from XL 106.7 are teaming up to make it to the end of the race. Now, in case that does not happen, they are also going for the People's Choice Award. So just head to clickorlando.com, click the link in this story. It will take you to the voting page. The name of their tandem bike is the Complaint Line. Today is the last day to vote.
Good luck to them.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah, they're going to
we'll
need
be watching.
it. We certainly will.
Yes.
Now to flooding concerns along the coast.
Yeah, some people are worried because they say the problem is just getting worse.
It was flooding my bathroom, my living room, my kitchen, some of my daughter's closet, and our bedroom closet as well.
What some leaders are doing about it, that's next.
Claremont's new ordinance eliminating most height restrictions on flagpoles exclusively for American flags passing during Tuesday night's city council meeting. We'll tell you some of the concerns that are being held by residents and city officials.
Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now.
The family of Kevin Zavala, who died after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe, is demanding answers from Universal. Zavala was found unresponsive after the ride last week and later died. Today, attorney Ben Crump, who is representing the family, said they want all the videos and reports released to them. Their team is also conducting an independent investigation. The teacher who said she was hanging out at a party with more than 100 teenagers thinks she has been punished enough. In May, a judge sentenced Carly Anderson, formerly of Teddy Roosevelt Elementary, to a year of probation. She went to court today to plead her case to the judge, but her hearing got postponed to next week. The city of Kissimmee is trying to strike a balance between population growth and preserving neighborhood charm. They plan on working with the Vine Street Community Redevelopment Area by looking to turn a 5-mile stretch of Vine into a place to call home. The redevelopment area encompasses over 1,000 acres of non-residential space and over 250 million square feet of commercial space. We want to update you now on the shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas. We told you earlier in this hour that Homeland Security said 2 of the detainees were killed and another detainee was critically injured. Now Homeland Security is saying that 1 detainee died and 2 others are critically hurt. Again, no law enforcement officers were hurt in the shooting today. The FBI is calling this a targeted attack against ICE.
A flagpole taller than Cinderella's castle and nearly as tall as the Citrus Tower. Claremont voted to allow flagpoles up to 200 feet, but there's a catch. Your Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod has been following this story and explains why the city's plan may have a major legal issue.
In a 4-1 vote, the Claremont City Council eliminating most flagpole height restrictions exclusively for American flags, but the new ordinance did not come without some sharp criticism from residents.
I really think council time should focus on policies that directly impact the residents' quality of life and not symbolic ordinances. This was pandering.
So if you own a house on East Avenue, your neighbor could have a 200-foot pole as long as FAA said it was okay.
The new ordinance removes the 55-foot height limit on flagpoles, but only for the American flag. The flagpole height must also fall in line with the Federal Aviation Administration's regulations, and a structural engineer must certify that building code requirements are met. As far as any potential lawsuits over First Amendment rights, Claremont City Councilman Todd Howard thinks it's unlikely.
Is there somebody out there who may say, you know what, I want to try this and I'm willing to spend, $100,000 to erect a flagpole and to create issues for the city? There can be, but then they've got to pay attorney's fees. So where are we going to go with this? I just don't see anybody doing it.
Howard brought the proposal forward earlier this month after the city sent a notice to Camping World's Claremont dealership saying the flagpole was in violation of city code.
I really have an issue that you have to pay $800 to come before the council and beg us for our permission to fly a flag.
We also spoke with Claremont's mayor, Tim Murray, the lone vote in opposition. He feels the ordinance didn't need to be changed and says there needs to be rules and guidelines.
Now you eliminate the rules, and now we have no law and order and no consistency. If we should be challenged legally, what standards or anything can we judge anything by? When you just say, hey, if you want to fly a flag in Claremont now, it doesn't matter. Just put it up long as engineers say it's structurally sound. It doesn't matter what size, what height, or anything else. Okay.
Now, Councilman Howard tells me if there's an issue with the engineering on one of these flagpoles, the city can force somebody to take it down. To view our prior coverage of this story and to see more details, you can head to clickorlando.com. I'm your Lake County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
Just weeks after heavy rain swamped neighborhoods in Port Orange and other parts of Volusia County, homeowners will have the chance tonight to hear what is being done to try and fix the flooding. The county council chair is holding a special town hall meeting. News 6's Mark Lehman spoke with a homeowner who says the flooding problems have been getting worse.
This meeting is happening after neighborhoods like this one saw a lot of problems recently. The issue was drains here along the street just couldn't handle the amount of water that fell in a short amount of time. Homeowners are now worried about what will happen during the next storm and are hoping to hear some answers today.
Our drain out here out front was just swirling. It was not draining like it should be.
Kevin Stevenson says for the last couple weeks, he's been worried something like this could happen again.
Do you know how deep that is right now?
Stevenson's wife taking the video earlier this month when an intense rainstorm overwhelmed Port Orange's stormwater system and sent water into their home.
It was flooding my bathroom, my living room, my kitchen, some of my daughter's closet, and our bedroom closet as well.
In response to the problems, Volusia County Chair Jeff Brower is hosting a town hall tonight. The meeting will give neighbors a chance to share their story, ask questions, and learn more about ongoing efforts.
More new construction coming in every day is hurting our neighborhoods, especially when we don't have a good drainage system in place.
Stevenson says there are things he'd like to see local leaders address, from speeding up drainage improvements to concerns that new construction is creating more problems. Most importantly, his hope is to see less talk and more action.
We need to bind together and make sure that none of this happens again.
Now, one obstacle in fixing the problem could be recently passed Senate Bill 180, which some say restricts local governments from regulating development. All of this will be discussed during tonight's meeting, which begins at 5:30, and that's at the Port Orange Regional Library. In Port Orange, Mark Lehman, News 6.
In Volusia County, there is a growing push to ensure a part of natural Florida remains, especially with a lot of development taking over. Your Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada got an inside look at one plan right here in Central Florida.
Florida adds more than 1,000 new residents every day, putting pressure on open land and wild spaces.
So we're over in a scrubby flatwoods area. You have all kinds of longleaf pine above you. We have all kinds of wildlife out here that uses these habitats.
But a new project is preserving what makes the Sunshine State special.
We couldn't be more excited to be offering a $2.5 million investment here to the local community.
Wow.
Of a nature center that's coming on D Ranch Preserve.
The Nature Center will be built at the D Ranch Preserve in Osteen, home to cattle, gopher tortoises, and donkeys. The 476-acre property has been protected since 2019.
And so next to Beautyberry, you can also see a little tree frog over on our native grapevine.
Look at him! The center will feature classrooms, exhibits, offices, and a wraparound porch with a view of Florida's landscape.
Since we opened the property to the public, through the gates we had all kinds of the local community come and join us. There's been hikers and bird watchers and photographers and all kinds of families coming out to enjoy the property.
The $2.5 million project still needs to raise another $400,000, with the foundation matching all donations through the end of the year.
What we try to do here at D Ranch Preserve and with the Nature Center is bring conservation and community together. And so that's our biggest achievement. Yeah. We're going to provide educational programs, volunteer events, and all kinds of community engagement throughout this whole area.
Construction is expected to begin in 2026, with doors opening in 2027. Community members can donate online at conservationfla.org/Nature Center. In Osteen, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casada, News 6.
A launch this morning carried 3 spacecraft to study the sun, the Earth, and help pave the way for crewed missions to the moon.
3, 2, 1, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go IMAP, go Swifo L1, and go Corruptors.
That liftoff was at 7:30 this morning. One device on board will map what's known as the sun's bubble, taking measurements of the sun's solar wind. Another probe will use a small telescope to measure the outermost part of the Earth's atmosphere, providing critical data for astronauts as they leave Earth for the moon or Mars. And finally, a satellite will focus on the sun and serve as an early warning system for solar flares that can disrupt electronics, the electric grid, and even agriculture.
Food halls are becoming more popular in Central Florida.
Last week, anchor Matt Austin showed us some of the must-haves at a spot that opened earlier this year, but he didn't get to everything. See what else he tried on the I-4 food tour next.
We are pinpointing a couple of downpours and a few rumbles of thunder out there. Not as widespread as last night. We'll track where these are headed, and we'll have that update from the National Hurricane Center. It just hit our computer, so I'll show you the first forecast track for now Tropical Storm Humberto on the other side of the break.
And before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then you can watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Maybe I'll just try one blind. I'm chasing my food. Last week at the food hall, I tried a triple burger and a delicious egg sandwich. This week, let's give me some blessed belly and tanto pasta.
But before we get to that food, let's check out some RVs from our sponsor, Giant Recreation World.
We're gonna go to the Birria Quesadilla. Yes. So we have that incredible Birria sauce. We've already doused it in lime. This meat's been cooking forever. Okay. That's delicious. This is a different kind of cheese in here than you would normally get with a Birria taco. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Come on, dude. Come on. What are we doing here? Give it a little dipper. Get up close to that guy. That's good. That's really good. You gotta try that. Let's just finish it off with some pasta, huh? Anybody else a sucker for pesto? I am. So we're gonna get a little bit of that burrata. Burrata's kind of like an egg. You almost crack it open and the good stuff comes out. A little tomato. Oh, I feel like I just got kicked in the face with flavor. That's delicious. Let me get more of that. Look at this. Just fresh burrata. Oh, that hits. As my teenage daughter would say, that slaps. And she's gonna kill me for saying that. Okay, so I have come, I think I've eaten everything inside. We've had an amazing burger, incredible tacos and quesadilla, crazy pasta. I had breakfast, all so good. If I am picking one thing you have to come here and try, Birria quesadilla, dude. All day, that thing was insane. The fact that you could come in here, order that, and in like 5 minutes you could be eating that is stupid. City Food Hall, I-4 Food Tour.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
The part you don't see is when he takes his cholesterol pills after it's all over.
I don't know. You know, I know his suggestion was if I see burrata on the menu, I got to go with that.
You're the one who turned me on to burrata. I
so
had
good.
no idea what I was missing all these years. Now I don't.
All right, we want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, who is standing by, looking at the tropics for us again. We now have another named system out there.
And that's what I wanted to show you here. This is the first to track from the National Hurricane Center. When it comes to Umberto now, this is the one that's further out at sea. This is the one that we are expecting to quickly turn, but just wanted to show you the official forecast here. A 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It's going to be a slow-moving thing over the next couple of days. By the weekend, it's still just hanging out in the middle of nowhere. And then as we move things back off towards the north and west, it is expected to become a hurricane and could be a pretty strong one, too, as it rounds around Bermuda. They're back in the cone again just after Gabrielle. So Category 2 storm. And again, this one is expected to bend. There's still some differences and uncertainty when it comes to how the other wave that's in the Eastern Caribbean now, they're going to play with each other and likely do a little dance as we move forward over the next couple of days and through the weekend. Here is the second tropical wave now, well, now the only tropical wave because the other one is officially a tropical storm, but it's continuing to move to the west. Now, the other issue when it comes to forecasting this is there's going to be a ton of land interaction with this. You see the spaghetti models here going right over the Dominican Republic and into Haiti, very mountainous terrain, so there's going to be no development over the next couple of days. And then you see there's a fork in the road here. Some of them want to keep it to the south of Cuba. We do not want that at all because eventually they have to lift north. You do see this tug to the north, and if it does come north of Hispaniola towards the Turks and Caicos, that would be the most positive thing because it'll likely feel some of the strength from now Umberto, and that's going to lift up and out and leave the entire southeast corner alone. I want to show you the intensity models here when it comes to Invest 94L, and you see all these different lines that just plotted on an intensity scale here to just kind of give you the same kind of deal over the next 4 or 5 days. The intensity is going to be very, very weak, again, because for the next 3 days at least, it is going to be interacting with the mountainous terrain of Hispaniola again, and likely by 96 hours, 4 days out, that is going to be heading towards tropical storm status. So a long way to go on that. We're watching also some heavier rain, some thunderstorms out there. That's a live look in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. We have air temperatures now into the lower 90s, the breeze out of the east-southeast at about 6 miles an hour. There are the downpours and a few rumbles of thunder out there, especially toward the I-4 corridor in the Orlando metro area. North of Denellen, we have a couple of lightning strikes popping up, and we're going to watch the 75 corridor for the next couple of hours. These storms here, these downpours closer to I-4, those are pushing west, those are pushing east, and we will watch for another collision again. I don't think as widespread as last night, but you do see that flare up there for the I-4 corridor again as everything kind of blows back and pushes back towards the I-75 corridor later on tonight. Tomorrow, I think the chances go up a little bit. There's 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We are dry. Morning's looking good. 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when we'll start to fire up some more storms, and I think they'll be a little more widespread. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Temperatures tomorrow back in the low to mid 90s, so we're staying steamy. Those rain chances going back up to 60%. We'll keep rain chances elevated over the next couple of days. 60% shot for storms on Friday, 50% chance to start your weekend, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now and click the link. And we want to see your weather pictures and videos. They could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way.
Now to a list of concerns at a local animal shelter.
Overcrowded and overused.
The shelter is used 24/7 all the time at that high level capacity. So as you can imagine, things break down.
Seminole County's animal shelter has a list of needs. We're looking into how they plan to fix them and why they say now is the time to do it.
As we take a live look at Mount Dora, you're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, a major change to Florida's gun laws officially takes effect.
What open carry means for you and why not all local sheriffs agree if it's the right move.
Plus, we're watching 2 trouble spots in the tropics. Candace will have the overnight developments.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
I'm Catherine Silver, your Seminole County community correspondent. Housing issues, higher costs, these aren't just issues for people, but pets too. Across Central Florida, shelters like this one are trying to do more with less, and overcrowding isn't the only challenge.
This is a final project.
Staff at Seminole County's Animal Services stay busy caring for the hundreds of pets that come through these doors.
We have almost 230 cats and dogs together.
And that's just today.
That's every day.
Division Manager Chris Stronko led us around the facility. This shelter operates at 130% capacity on average. There's an urgent need to find homes. There's also a need for other improvements.
The aging guillotine door systems.
The shelter isn't just overcrowded.
The whole thing is rotten. And this is because of the amount of bleach and chemicals we use in the facility.
It's overused.
A very big generator powers all this just so we can provide air conditioning.
It is extremely hot in the state of Florida. Can you imagine the heat inside of those shelters?
Alan Harris is the county's emergency manager. He oversees animal services.
This complex was never built for air conditions because back in the day, fans did the trick. It doesn't do the trick anymore. For us to bring in regular air conditioners and install that, it means a complete electrical redo of our system.
How much are we spending just to run that HVAC system?
For our temporary air conditioners, almost $200,000 a year.
With a new budget kicking in and a new property tax hike, there is talk of renovating this facility. The last time it was refurbished was in 2007 after a fire 18 years ago. What is the county's plan to start addressing this list of needs?
We're going to be developing a capital improvement master plan, and this will identify by priority the items that we need to do.
It sounds like you guys are making do with what you have, but it could be better.
The building that we have for adoptions and administration is old, so that's obviously going to take a little bit longer than maybe the air conditioning, electrical, and then the fences are a little bit faster. So it's all going to be timed out.
Harris says it won't be done tomorrow.
365 days a year of use.
But it will be sooner rather than later.
It takes its toll on stuff.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
$200,000. That is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
Well, dozens of people in one community say they were hurt, some seriously, just by walking in the neighborhood. After the break, we're looking at what the problem was and how much it's going to cost for leaders to fix it. First, though, we're hearing from the family of the man who died at Epic Universe last week for the first time. The answers they want from Universal. And your forecast is only minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6. Plus, our meteorologists are going to have a look at how this week is ending out in just a few minutes.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now at 5, we're hearing from the family of the man who died on a ride at Epic Universe last week. The answers they're demanding. Plus, we're hearing from UCF football for the first time since a beloved coach passed away. And later,
this couple is banned from selling hot tubs in Florida following dozens of consumer complaints. So why did our News 6 cameras capture video of them frequenting this warehouse here where hot tubs are being sold on Facebook Marketplace?
You're watching News 6 at 5.
An emotional afternoon in Orlando. The family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala addressed the media, speaking about the unimaginable loss of their son, brother, uncle, and friend.
He died last week after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe. Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was at that press conference and joins us now live with the latest on this. Mike.
Yeah, guys, joined by their attorney, Ben Crump, the family shared with us what Kevin Rodriguez Zavala meant to them and how his loss has changed everything and changed their worlds.
We shared and did everything together, including our birthdays. His birthday was only 2 days before mine. Birthdays are no longer going to be the same.
Described as an old soul at heart, Kevin Rodriguez Zavala graduated with a bachelor's degree in video game design, and he loved amusement parks, having gone on roller coasters countless times.
Ese último día, él estaba feliz porque su novia, que trabaja en el parque, lo invitó a pasar el día.
That last day, on the 17th, he was extremely happy all day. His girlfriend had gotten him tickets for them to go to Universal together and have a wonderful day together, and he was very happy.
This night, he was fine. He had no medical issues, nothing.
Attorney Ben Crump pointed to the medical examiner's note that Kevin died of multiple blunt impact injuries when he underscored his claim that Kevin's spinal injury had nothing to do with his death.
We have to know what happened. We have to get answers.
As they push to see the autopsy results and any available video footage, Crump and his co-counsel are talking to witnesses and consulting with amusement park experts who, according to the attorneys, have started exploring a working theory of what might have happened.
If a ride restraint fails to properly protect a rider, then that is a safety failure.
The attorneys also claim that team members never said anything to Kevin about any restrictions before he and his girlfriend got on the ride. You mentioned something about the team members, how they never said anything to Kevin. Is it your opinion that they should have advised him not to get on the ride? And I do ask that because Epic Universe's own guidelines say that if you have a history of back issues or neck issues, that it's not recommended to get on the Stardust Racers. Do you anticipate that being their defense in all of this?
Never happened. They never said anything to him about restrictions or anything.
The park knew of his limitations. They helped transfer him onto the ride. If the park is going to take a position that he should not have been on the ride, they should not have assisted him to get in.
The president and COO of Universal Orlando Resort said in a letter this week to staff that the ride functioned as intended, that the equipment was intact, and that team members followed procedures. Now, after that press conference, we did reach out to Universal as well as the State Department of Agriculture to ask them about the concerns regarding the restraints. We'll let you know if and when we hear back. And as they wait for answers, Kevin's family wants to ensure that the Stardust Racers roller coaster remains closed until an independent investigation is complete. As of today, the Stardust Racers roller coaster is closed. It's been closed since last Wednesday. It's unclear when it might reopen. Live outside Universal, I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. Of course, if we learn anything more about what happened, we'll update you on air and at clickorlando.com.
We are continuing to watch the tropics very closely with Tropical Storm Umberto forming just about an hour ago.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is keeping a close eye on both of those systems for us. Jonathan?
Yeah, this is the one that was further out at sea in the central Atlantic. So this is the one that's always been the likely one to completely curve. It's a 40-mile-per-hour storm now, so just reaching that threshold. The latest track, the first track from the National Hurricane Center, again, this is the 5 o'clock advisory, shows that slow going over the next few days. Again, not moving much between now and the weekend, and then picking up speed and also picking up some intensity here. Expected to at least become a Category 2 hurricane as it really rounds the spot between the United States and Bermuda. This should continue to go up and out as well, leaving the United States alone. But it is going to play a factor, likely anyway, in the other wave that we're watching goes. So here's a closer look again at Umberto. That's the tropical storm. The wave that we are watching is in the eastern Caribbean. That's going to continue to go west, development zone in that red area. I'll show you the latest projections on that. Latest models coming up at about 5:17, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. A morning announcement in a local high school that involved a, quote, witchy wake-up has come under fire in Orange County. The Liberty Council, which is a local Christian organization, is demanding the school put an end to what it calls a promotion of witchcraft rituals. West Orange County community correspondent Tylisa Hampton is getting to the bottom of what exactly happened.
Many parents that I spoke with at West Orange High School say that video that has garnered this attention did not mean that much to them. However, those with Liberty Council say it's a video that should have never been shared in the first place.
As parents at West Orange High School pick up their teens, there's also a discussion surrounding a video about witchcraft.
I think we can trust our families and our kids to make the right decisions.
This week, the legal group Liberty Counsel sent this letter to Orange County Public Schools over the Witchy Wednesday video series at the high school.
Liberty Counsel was contacted by students, faculty, and staff after they encountered the Witchy Wednesday on the closed circuit television system in the classroom. They were shocked by what they heard and saw.
The Liberty Counsel claims the high school video that aired during the mid-morning announcements made by students promoted religious instructions like gaining the light of insight, burning candles, spells, magic, and witchcraft rituals. Matt Staver with the council says they made their concerns clear and gave options for students who may have Christian beliefs.
We asked that those that wanted to opt out be allowed to opt out, and also that those who wanted a opposite viewpoint to be able to have the opportunity for students to do the same thing.
A response letter from the school district said the practice of airing the segments has been stopped because school sponsorship of a religious message could be construed as government speech and is not constitutionally allowed.
They should never open this closed circuit TV to this kind of ideological issue that is totally unrelated to the school day or to the school function.
However, a parent we spoke with says the announcement didn't make her concerned.
It wouldn't bother me for my kid to hear it because I trust her to make the right decisions too. A school if it's a public school, needs to have separation of church and state, and the parents need to influence their home life decisions.
And school officials say this video has been stopped. Now, they also said in this statement that they and this legal group have the same goal, which is for students' First Amendment rights to be respected. Reporting in West Orange County, I'm your community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
People living in Daytona Beach are asking for help after dozens of people have been hurt on the sidewalks in their neighborhood.
So this is the Mosaic neighborhood off LPGA. As Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed found, the city may be on the hook now for $1 million to make the fix.
You can see the water has not drained from the sidewalk here in the Mosaic neighborhood. Now, the residents around here actually took a poll on those who have been injured here and took it to the city. They found that over 40 people slipped and fell on the sidewalks here just since the beginning of 2025. But they say this problem has been going on much longer and they need help.
One person has a broken tailbone. Another guy treated his babysitter himself because he was a chiropractor. A gentleman fell across the street who had a hip replacement.
The Mosaic neighborhood opened in 2018. These residents say basically since the beginning, the sidewalk flooding from sprinklers and rain hasn't drained properly and creates slick algae buildup.
We have an actual drain that the water is supposed to go into, and it's draining backwards towards the house.
We'd like answers. Yeah. You know, we went to them and asked, who signed off? Why? Why has this been allowed to perpetuate?
The situation was brought up by the city commission in mid-July. The city said it had meetings with the developer, ICI Homes, to find out who was responsible to make the fix and estimated it would cost the city $1 million to do so. The city admitted it signed off on the developer to build the sidewalks.
We didn't build them. The developer
any of those
built
sidewalks incorrectly. We didn't build any of them. But it is our responsibility.
But we signed off on them. Somebody.
It is our responsibility legally to help fix them.
Since then, nothing has changed still.
That they're coming out in their white shirts and measuring. They've measured numerous times, but there's not a clear-cut plan.
The city did say at the commission meeting it would have more firm plans by August, and then the city commission would have to vote on spending the money to make the fix. But so far, that hasn't happened now almost 2 months later. We reached out to the city today for a comment or an update on how this is going, but still have not received a response. I'm your Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Well, UCF football is getting ready to open conference play this weekend with some heavy hearts. Earlier this week, the school announced beloved offensive line coach Sean Clark passed away after a medical emergency last month.
Sports Director Jamie Say was there as UCF's coaching staff spoke for the first time since Coach Clark passed away. And Jamie, he wasn't with the Knights for very long, but it is clear he had a big impact on the team.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sean Clark had an impact on everyone he met. He was friendly. He was outgoing. He had time for people. He was a unique coach. He was a husband, he was a father, and he was a friend. Sean Clark's death at the age of 50 was unexpected. Today, UCF head coach Scott Frost talked publicly about Clark for the first time since his passing. It was an emotional media availability. Frost says leaning into football and getting ready to play a game has been somewhat therapeutic for everyone involved on the team, but he misses his colleague and friend.
Sean's compassion and passion for his players and love for his players was real, and they knew that. And that's why he fit in so well here.
Was kind of the glue guy for the staff. Larger than life personality. Just incredible human being.
You know, for those of us with faith, that's what we have to lean on. Sean had faith, and so our faith means that we know he's in a better place. I think it puts football in perspective. You know, one of my first messages to the team every year is, let's be great at football. Football's what we do. We love football. Football's not life.
But the season goes on, and UCF plays at Kansas State this Saturday. It's the Knights' Big 12 opener. They will have decals on their helmets in Sean Clark's honor, and will try to play their best in his honor as well. Guys.
I'm sure they will. Jamie Say, thank you. Well, the state went after a Volusia County couple after a News 6 investigation into their hot tub operation. Next at 5, we're looking to see if they're following the state ruling that came from this.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
We are working to get more information on a crash that is causing a pretty big traffic headache tonight. Take a look. The southbound lanes on the Florida Turnpike near Mineola are completely shut down right now. What we know at this point is that FHP is conducting an investigation and calling it a fatality. As soon as we learn more, we'll let you know.
Well, this Volusia County couple was accused of ripping off customers by selling defective and leaky hot tubs. But following a News 6 investigation, the state of Florida permanently banned them from selling hot tubs.
But are they violating that court order? News 6 investigator Mike DeForest captured exclusive video that is raising new concerns.
This is Dylan Placker, and this is the truck Dylan Placker often drives. Our News 6 cameras recently captured this video of him pulling an empty trailer away from this Volusia County warehouse where several hot tubs are stored outside. When Placker returned hours later, there was something on the trailer. It was another hot tub. We do not know why Placker brought the hot tub here, and we don't know why his wife, Chelsea, joined him. What we do know is the couple is banned from selling hot tubs like this one in the state of Florida.
I'm angry.
3 years ago, I began hearing from customers who say the Plackers sold them defective and leaky hot tubs on Facebook Marketplace. Following my News 6 investigation, Florida's Attorney General sued the Plackers for deceptive and unfair trade practices. The couple later settled that lawsuit and are now banned from working with or for any person or business that offers, sells, repairs, refurbishes, cleans, warrants, constructs, or otherwise provides any hot tub or spa. That's why our video of the Plackers repeatedly visiting this warehouse is raising new questions. Last month, someone using the name Sabrina Thompson sold this hot tub on Facebook Marketplace. Surveillance video shows it being delivered to the buyer's home on the same trailer we saw the Plackers using.
Hi, Mr. Placker.
Before getting abruptly disconnected, the Plackers denied ever visiting this warehouse, telling me, quote, "We are no longer in business."
I've asked Florida's Attorney General if the Plackers' activity at this warehouse here may violate the settlement agreement that the couple signed. I have not yet received a response. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Very interesting
It is,
stuff.
yep.
All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, he is taking a look at how this evening is going. Anything flaring up out there?
There's a little bit. Not as much as last night. That was to be expected. I think tomorrow we'll see a little more widespread activity out there. We do have some thunderstorms, though, hanging around East Orange County through the Orlando metro area, and then also back closer to us in Kissimmee, St. Cloud, near Lake Toho. We have some lightning popping up. These are not holding together like what they were doing last night either. I think, again, that'll change tomorrow. We also have a couple of downpours closer to us in Denellen, in Ocala, especially on the west side of town, the north of Denellen. These are going to just meander back to the west a little bit. So I'm not expecting a huge sea breeze collision tonight, but we're going to watch storm chances increase over the next couple of hours. It's going to be along and then just to the west of I-4, closer to Claremont, Mineola, Montverde, Popka, kind of the same deal we saw last night. You can track those downpours and thunderstorms that get going with the free News 6 weather app. Clouds and rain forecast for the rest of the night. Again, we're going to be watching pretty much right along the I-4 corridor for that opportunity for a few of those thunderstorms, and then those will push back to the west. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Temperatures tomorrow, a little steamy, back to the low to mid 90s. We're at 93 degrees in Wildwood tomorrow, 93 in Groveland. Polapaw, good evening. We're back to 93 as well. Titusville, we're going to check in tomorrow afternoon, right in the low 90s. Also, rain chances going up a little bit, back up to 60% tomorrow. Maitland into Winter Park, great morning tomorrow. It's going to be a little muggy, 76 degrees by 7 o'clock. We're pushing the mid to upper 80s already by lunchtime. We'll jump into the lower 90s as well, and it's going to be after that 2 o'clock hour. That's when the rain chances start to spike, and I think for us along the I-4 corridor especially, that's when we're going to see the opportunity again for more thunderstorms. Pattern over the next couple of days, we do have a front coming back off, and this is what's going to help to try to keep those tropical things way out at sea. We're watching that one that's riding across the Caribbean, of course, but you see the extra moisture here in green on the map. This is pushing towards Friday. What this front does to us, it helps to squeeze in more moisture from the Gulf, helps to get more storms going, at least to keep them sustained, and that's something that we're going to watch not only for tomorrow, but through the end of the work week as well. I do think we get some extra dry air back in here as we move to the second part of your weekend. Just will see a flare up of a few routine afternoon thunderstorms moving through the day on Friday into the weekend. Here's the latest on 94L. Again, this is the tropical wave that is situated in the eastern Caribbean. Of course, we had Humberto named just before 5 o'clock. Development chances at 80% over the next 7 days. The deal is I don't see much of any development over the next couple of days because all these lines represent the computer forecast that we look at. Look at where it's headed over Puerto Rico and then especially over the mountainous terrain over the Dominican Republic and Haiti. So it's going to keep it weak. You do see it kind of diverges a little bit. So if it takes the one further to the south and west, it would have more of a shot to strengthen a little bit. If it comes up a little bit, now Humberto, which is going to be allowed to get stronger since it developed first, they're going to do a little dance, it looks like, if they stay close, but it will help to pull it away from the southeast corner of the United States. So that's what we're rooting for anyway, but we're going to keep a close eye on that over the next few days. 60% shot for storms tomorrow. We're going to keep things elevated into the weekend. We'll be right back.
Mortgage rates have dropped to the lowest levels of the year, so now the question is the housing market finally getting more affordable? CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with the fall housing update. Jill, good time to buy or not a good time to buy?
Well, you know, it's tough still because the median home price nationally, it's still right around $440,000. You know, it's up 34% from 5 years ago, according to Redfin. Now, that's an improvement, by the way. Just a few months ago, we were up 45%. So we are seeing the rate of home price increases slow down, but the overall price level, boy, it's still expensive.
Jill, how important are the lower mortgage rates in this equation?
Well, obviously price is the most important, but more and more people are really finding that these mortgage interest rates, they're also a very complex part of the equation. Earlier this year, we got down to 7%. Now we're moving it towards 6%, around 6.25% for a 30-year fixed rate loan.
Last question, what if you can afford the monthly nut of carrying a house, but you're having a problem coming up with the down payment?
I've heard a lot from younger people who say this, like, hey, I can do it, I can swing it, but I can't get her 10 or 20% down very quickly. It is hard. If you think about it, the housing price, the median price at $440,000 means even just 10% down payment, 44 grand, that's a really big hurdle. There is some help in the form of assistance programs, 2,000 of them, according to a company called Down Payment Resource. You might want to check that out because they track these programs nationwide.
Jill, thank you so much. You can see Jill regularly on CBS Mornings and the CBS Evening News. For more analysis, go to jillonmoney.com.
As communities continue to grow to meet the needs of so many people who are moving here, some are worried about neighborhoods losing their flair that makes them unique.
After the break, we're looking at one area's plan to keep what makes their slice of Central Florida so special. Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We are following several top stories for you right now.
The family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, who died after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe, is asking for full transparency from Universal. Today, their attorney, Ben Crump, who represents the family, said the family wants all videos and reports released to them. Their team is also conducting an independent investigation.
The Orange County School District has stopped West Orange High and Winter Garden from showing controversial videos. The Liberty Council claims the Witchy Wednesday videos aired during student announcements and promoted spells and witchcraft rituals. School officials say both they and the Liberty Council share the same goal, protecting students' First Amendment rights. Daytona Beach residents are asking for help after dozens have been injured on the sidewalks in the Mosaic neighborhood off LPGA. Neighbors say flooding from sprinklers and rain doesn't drain properly and it creates a slick algae buildup. The fix could cost up to $1 million. A
35-year-old man facing life in prison. He's accused of burning a woman's remains and dismembering her body. Palm Bay community correspondent James Sparvero takes us to court as the second-degree murder suspect meets the potential jurors who will determine his fate.
The man who the sheriff's office says shot a mother and then burned and dismembered her in the compound is here in court as a judge and attorneys begin picking a jury in the trial of Daniel Stearns.
He's a monster. He's a monster.
In 2023, Nancy Howery's friend told me the 44-year-old mother was dating Stearns and she got upset with him because he didn't make special plans for Valentine's Day. Howery was then reported missing when she didn't pick up her kids from school.
Go ahead and bring out the defendant.
Howery's murder received a lot of media attention, so the judge and attorneys are challenged with finding jurors who didn't hear about the story.
If you were nonetheless chosen to sit on this jury, would you be able to focus 100% of your attention on the evidence and testimony in the case?
Palm Bay police said the blighted, vacant compound was where 3 other people were killed between 2022 and 2023. Like teenagers, TJ Anthony and Jeremiah Brown. Their accused killers are still awaiting trial. Court deputies tell me a jury is expected to be seated Thursday or Friday, and the trial should take 2 weeks. In Brevard County, I'm your Palm Bay community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
E-bikes have become so common on the road, law enforcement agencies are trying to figure out what to do in the event of a crash involving a bike.
And it comes after a 14-year-old was hurt after being hit by a car while riding one in Deltona. News 6's Mark Lehman spoke with the teen who is sharing his perspective on safety.
This training exercise is happening about 5 miles from last month's crash involving a teen riding an e-bike. Organizers say this is all about sharpening responder skills and sending a message of e-bike safety.
Even approximately 5-year-old male patient, his VCS was initially 14 to 15.
Volusia County emergency crews working hand in hand with hospital workers for a realistic e-bike crash simulation. It's a scene that's increasingly familiar for first responders and those who have lived through it firsthand.
Had he not been wearing that helmet, he would be dead. Take a look at the inside.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood showing us the helmet that saved Hunter Ford's life last month. The 14-year-old was hit by a car in Deltona while riding an e-bike on the first day of school.
I would definitely say it was very scary. I was struck by the car, dragged 15 feet, and then the tow truck lifted the car off of me.
Today's training showed a very similar situation. In this case, paramedics worked to rescue 2 children and coordinated their response.
It really makes a difference in how we collaborate together and work together with our partners so that we can get safe and efficient transport of that injured patient to the local trauma center.
According to Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, more than 90 patients have been admitted this year with significant e-bike related injuries. While Hunter is still recovering, he says it's important to share his story.
Please wear a helmet, and it saved my life and it can save yours if this ever happens to you.
Prior to today's run-through, Sheriff Chitwood says he intends to meet with resource deputies at schools throughout the district to spread a message of helmet safety, and he is encouraging other counties to do the same. For now, reporting in Volusia County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thank you. Last week, we spoke with police in Winter Springs, who told us in that community, part of the problem is parents do not know what kind of bike they're really buying for their kids. So we broke down some of the differences between e-bikes and the rules surrounding them in this article at clickorlando.com. Just search e-bike.
Well, with all the talk about growth and expansion in Osceola County, preserving neighborhood charm sometimes gets lost in the mix. The city of Kissimmee is trying to strike a balance with the Vine Street Community Redevelopment Area project.
And right now there is a meeting at Kissimmee City Hall for you to tell leaders what you think about this. Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee shows us how they are trying to turn part of Vine Street.
The Vine Street Community Redevelopment Area is working on a plan to improve the area, and they want your input. The part of Vine Street they want to make more community-friendly is a 5-mile stretch starting around the Valencia College area at Denjon Street and ends up near the tourist area near Medieval Times. That's right across the street from Jumping Caribbean Cuisine. The owners opened up just 7 months ago, hoping to be at the start of a booming area.
We're starting to see a lot of locals, which is a good thing. But we also see a lot of tourists.
The Vine Street Community Redevelopment Area encompasses 1,064 acres of non-residential space, 6 million gross square feet of commercial space, and a potential of over 250 million total square feet of commercial space. And about 5,000 people live in the immediate area. I'm on Vine Street in Kissimmee, not too far from John Young Parkway. Behind me here, this old building, well, that used to be the Kmart. The city of Kissimmee purchased this land, and they're hoping that eventually there'll be housing and also businesses here. Samia Singleton is the Vine Street CRA manager and says you can expect to see more landscaping and greenery, apartments and houses, and local businesses.
We also have incentive programs and grants to attract private investment. So if you bring your business to the Sierra area, we have programs that can help you.
It will be better to have more apartments because coffee shop will have everywhere.
Well, I'm pretty sure the city of Kissimmee will be watching this, so they'll get your idea.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Say bye-bye.
On Vine Street in Kissimmee, I'm your Osceola County community correspondent, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Well, today, Governor Ron DeSantis spoke at a press conference in Tampa highlighting the state's cancer initiatives. DeSantis says Florida's Cancer Innovation Fund will make another $60 million available in a round of applications that open this week. The governor was joined by his wife, First Lady Casey DeSantis, who says we're at war with cancer.
We should all be in it together. If Hospital A has a really good procedure, then Hospital B should be able to utilize this too, and we shouldn't have competitive advantages over one over the other. We should make sure that everybody has, opportunities to be able to get that good quality of care. Innovation and new technologies.
Joining the governor and the First Lady, Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo says the state would begin looking at alternative cancer therapies that don't have a, quote, inherent financial model for companies to invest in.
We know there are some things on Central Florida roads that will leave you scratching your head.
And that is where we come in. Trooper Steve breaks down some of the most puzzling things he's seen on the road recently.
If you're new to the Trooper Steve on patrol world, honks are what we use instead of cursing to express our inner stress of traffic. Your vehicle is a device for you to get to A, B, B to A safely. Why you guys choose to do this stuff, I don't even know how to describe it. Kathleen, let's just show it to him. Avalanche is about to have an avalanche. Are you kidding me right now? I don't even know what is on this. So we've got some cool Screaming Eagle stickers. We've got a whole bunch of just stuff added onto the back of this vehicle.
I don't know what we were looking at there either. I'm trying to get a closer look at that. On Saturday, Trooper Steve is stepping out of Results 1 to hop on a tandem bike at Cranes Roost Park in Altamont Springs. He will ride with Sandra Ray from XL 106.7. 30 teams will compete in the Red Bull Tandem Roller Coaster Competition. Event details are at clickorlando.com. And while the goal is to finish the obstacle course without falling in, for those who do not make it to the end, still have the chance to win the People's Choice Award. This is where Steve and Sandra Ray need your help. Go to clickorlando.com, click the link in this story. It will take you to the voting page. The name of their tandem bike is The Complaint Line. I feel like it should have been What the Honk.
Or results.
There you go. Click the picture and hit choose. Voting closes Thursday at midnight. Clearly, they didn't ask
us
our opinion.
for
Yes.
Suggestions.
Well, does your neighbor have something on their front lawn that drives you up a wall? What about a giant flagpole? The big flagpole in one community is letting people put up, and the catch that comes with it. Jonathan.
We are pinpointing a couple of thunderstorms tonight, certainly not as widespread or intense as last night at this time, but they are marching their way from east to southwest tonight. We're going to pinpoint where these are going and have the latest check-in on the tropics at about 5:47.
And take a break from those summer reruns. Try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Ginger and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas at 9:30, and then watch the late news an hour early. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus.
And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. And we are continuing to keep an eye on the roads tonight as southbound lanes on the Florida Turnpike near Mineola remain shut down. We know at this point the Florida Highway Patrol is investigating this crash as a fatality involving 4 vehicles. As soon as we learn more, we'll keep you posted. The Citrus Tower in Claremont reaches more than 220 feet into the air, providing views across Central Florida.
Yeah, some pretty nice views, too. But what probably wouldn't be too nice of a view is if someone plopped a flagpole as tall as that tower right on their front lawn. Well, that's the reality in Claremont, where leaders voted to allow flagpoles up to 200 feet.
But there's a catch. Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod has been following this story for us and explains why the city's plan may have a major legal issue.
In a 4-to-1 vote, the Claremont City Council eliminating most flagpole height restrictions exclusively for American flags. But the new ordinance did not come without some sharp criticism from residents.
I really think council time should focus on policies that directly impact the residents' quality of life and not symbolic ordinances. This was pandering.
So if you own a house on East Avenue, your neighbor could have a 200-foot pole as long as FAA said it was okay.
The new ordinance removes the 55-foot height limit on flagpoles, but only for the American flag. The flagpole height must also fall in line with the Federal Aviation Administration's regulations, and a structural engineer must certify that building code requirements are met. As far as any potential lawsuits over First Amendment rights, Claremont City Councilman Todd Howard thinks it's unlikely.
Is there somebody out there who may say, you know what, I want to try this and I'm willing to spend, $100,000 to erect a flagpole and to create issues for the city? There can be, but then they've got to pay attorney's fees. So where are we going to go with this? I just don't see anybody doing it.
Howard brought the proposal forward earlier this month after the city sent a notice to Camping World's Claremont dealership saying the flagpole was in violation of city code.
I really have an issue that you have to pay $800 to come before the council and beg us for our permission to fly a flag.
We also spoke with Claremont's mayor, Tim Murray, the lone vote in opposition. He feels the ordinance didn't need to be changed and says there needs to be rules and guidelines.
Now you eliminate the rules, and now we have no law and order and no consistency. If we should be challenged legally, what standards or anything can we judge anything by? When you just say, hey, if you want to fly a flag in Claremont now, it doesn't matter. Just put it up long as engineers say it's structurally sound. It doesn't matter what size, what height, or anything else. Okay.
Now, Councilman Howard tells me if there's an issue with the engineering on one of these flagpoles, the city can force somebody to take it down. To view our prior coverage of this story and to see more details, you can head to clickorlando.com. I'm your Lake County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
All right, our other big story, of course, we've been tracking the tropics. We have a new named storm out there. We're also tracking some stuff that's on the radar right now, Jonathan.
Yeah, the good news is it's not as intense as what we had last night, not as widespread either. We were talking about this yesterday. We'd see the rain chances come down a little bit. Still watching a few of us getting wet, though, along the I-4 corridor, closer to the Florida Turnpike as well, closer to Keenansville. You see some of the lightning strikes starting to pop back up. Those are all pushing off to the west. I think we're dry for the rest of the night from Palm Coast to Daytona Beach into Mims, Titusville. Space Coast, we're looking good. Everything's pushing inland, where we do have some of the heavier stuff, relatively speaking. Downpour leaving the south side of Lake Tahoe through St. Cloud tonight. Little outflow boundary. That's that green line right there. That rain-cooled air rushing out of the thunderstorm. That could force up some extra downpour activity right around us in Point Siena. So I'll be watching that for you over the next couple of hours, at least the next hour. Oak Ridge, we have the downpour right over us. The airport getting a little wet tonight. University Park, we have a couple of downpours around. Not a ton of lightning tonight. Again, that was also to be expected. I think once we get into tomorrow, that storm chance does go up a little bit. We'll be watching for a little flare up of thunderstorms over the next hour or so. Certainly don't think anything like last night, though. There's 7 to 8 o'clock. Everything tries to push back towards the west and fizzle out. Now watch what happens tomorrow. I think we have a nice start to the morning. Anywhere we do get the rain tonight, though, that's where I'll be watching for a little bit of patchy fog to develop, just like what we saw this morning. There's 11 o'clock on your Thursday morning. I think things are still looking pretty good tomorrow. And then there's that flare up coming on the pipeline. 7 to 8 o'clock, we'll watch the East Coast sea breeze and the storms with it come inland. There's the West Coast sea breeze, and then we'll fire things up a little bit, pretty much right smack dab in the Florida Peninsula, right along the I-4 corridor. Pretty traditional sea breeze collision tomorrow is what it looks like, and that'll increase the storm chances by tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. Nice breezy look here. Port Canaveral, Brevard County with our Launch Credit Union camera. Tonight, air temperatures back to the upper 80s. The breeze at about 10 to 15 miles an hour outside. Again, making it feel a little bit better out there because it is toasty. We're at 92 in Leesburg. Good evening. 93 in the Villages. With Daytona Beach, we're back to 84. Melbourne, we're checking in at 85 degrees, a couple of notches warmer in Palm Bay. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
And the storm chances go up, as I just showed you there at the high-resolution future radar. Rain chances at 60% once we get to the afternoon and evening. 93 in Groveland, 93 for us in the Villages as well. Palm Coast, we're back to 91. Benel, we're going to hang out in the lower 90s as well. There's the latest on Humberto. Again, this storm was just named today, about an hour and a half ago, by the National Hurricane Center. It got all of its tropical characteristics and met the wind criteria to be named. Expected to become a hurricane. This one is a non-issue for us. The reason why we're keeping tabs on it, of course, is because it could have a role in what happens with the disturbance that's hanging out closer in the eastern Caribbean. This one also has a high shot for development. Development zone is in this red shaded area, Turks and Caicos and Bahamas. Cautiously optimistic that this leaves Florida alone, but always have to watch when you get two waves like this. Now this is an actual tropical cyclone, but when you get two systems close together like that, that's when you have to watch for some shenanigans. They likely dance around each other and they can have big impacts on the track down the road. So we're watching closely, but again, cautiously optimistic this gets forced well off our coast. 60% shot for downpours as we move into tomorrow and Friday, keeping things elevated for Saturday afternoon as well, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Still to come after the break, hundreds of thousands of Americans were faced with and beat a horrible disease at a young age. The long-term health impacts doctors say many of them face down the road. Well, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. About 10,000 families will get some of the worst news imaginable this year when they learn their child has cancer. The American Cancer Society says about 9,500 children in the U.S. will be diagnosed with the disease this year alone. But now more than ever, there is hope. 85% of children diagnosed with cancer now survive 5 years or more.
The National Cancer Institute says there are about 500,000 cancer survivors in the U.S. who were diagnosed before their 20th birthday. As CBS's Jessica Moore shows us, while survivor rates are increasing, doctors say that does not come without potential implications later in life.
Beep, beep. Hannah Barbu is a happy, healthy 7-year-old who loves to dance. Yes. And do puzzles. She's also a cancer survivor. At just 10 weeks old, she was diagnosed with a rare cancer that starts in the nerve cells called neuroblastoma.
You're living your worst nightmare.
Hannah endured 4 rounds of chemotherapy over 3 months.
You go from having this brand new baby at home to now living in a hospital. She had a really bad reaction to one of the chemos and went into full-blown anaphylactic shock. I mean, I literally turned purple and stopped breathing in my arms.
The treatment was successful. Hannah is now among hundreds of childhood cancer survivors receiving lifelong follow-up and care through Northwell Health's Survivors Facing Forward program.
We know that many of the critical treatments that we rely on to achieve cure are associated with a wide variety of health problems and psychosocial challenges that may arise months to even decades after treatment.
Dr. Lena Jaffe says late effects can include heart disease, secondary cancers associated with treatment, endocrine, and fertility complications.
Our program is designed to not only screen for and address these long-term challenges, but also provide patients and families with the counseling, guidance, and support that they need.
This just adds like an extra worry for her future.
Laura says the support Hannah has gives them peace of mind.
So many other families don't get the opportunity that I get. To see her grow and see her be the person that she is just the greatest honor. I'm so grateful because it could have been a lot worse.
So they don't take any of these moments for granted. Jessica Moore, CBS News.
Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we are working on for News 6 at 6.
Lisa and Matt, we continue to cover the death at Epic Universe. Attorney Ben Crump and the victim's family addressing the public for the first time. Coming up, we hear from those family members as they want the park to take accountability and the answers they are demanding, plus the evidence they're trying to get a hold of. Also, as the cost of living increases, many forget the impact it plays on animals. We head to the struggling shelter in Seminole County and its urgent need for improvements next.
never did they believe that it would end up with Kevin being killed.
A family demanding answers after a man was killed after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster. Who they are pointing the finger at and the evidence they want released. Plus, a couple accused of selling faulty hot tubs to Central Florida customers caught on camera. The exclusive video uncovered by News 6 investigators.
Overcrowded and overused.
The shelter is used 24/7 all the time at that high level capacity, so as you can imagine, things break down.
Seminole County's animal shelter has a list of needs. We're looking into how they plan to fix them and why they say now is the time to do it.
News 6 at 6 starts now.
We start with breaking news. The southbound lanes of the Florida Turnpike are closed in Claremont because of a deadly crash. That crash happened just before 4 this afternoon. It's not yet clear when the Turnpike will reopen, but we will keep a close eye on it and let you know on air and on clickorlando.com. Now to an emotional afternoon in Orlando, where the family of a man who died after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster addressed the media.
Yeah, speaking for the first time about Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, a 32-year-old who was beloved by his family and friends and girlfriend there. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was at that press conference and joins us live now. Mike?
Yeah, Matt Ginger, joined by their attorney Ben Crump, Kevin's family shared with us the immense pain they're feeling, a type of pain that they believe could have and should have been avoided.
We shared and did everything together, including our birthdays. His birthday was only 2 days before mine. Birthdays are no longer going to be the same.
Described as an old soul at heart, Kevin Rodriguez Zavala graduated with a bachelor's degree in video game design. And he loved amusement parks, having gone on roller coasters countless times.
Ese último día, él estaba feliz porque su novia, que trabaja en el parque, lo invitó.
That last day, on the 17th, he was extremely happy all day. His girlfriend had gotten him tickets for them to go to Universal together and have a wonderful day together. And he was very happy.
Kevin was real. He was loved. And he mattered.
Attorney Ben Crump pointed to the medical examiner's note that Kevin died of multiple blunt impact injuries when he underscored his claim that Kevin's spinal injury had nothing to do with his death.
This night, he was fine. He had no medical issues, nothing.
Our investigation so far has confirmed that Kevin suffered repeated head injuries during the ride and was unconscious for the majority of the duration of the ride.
Universal Studios, you have to make this right.
As they push to see the autopsy results and any available video footage, Crump and his co-counsel are talking to witnesses and consulting with amusement park experts who, according to the attorneys, have started exploring a working theory of what might have happened.
That is their concern, that the restraints were the issue. But we will find out, hopefully, we will find out more.
The attorneys also claim that team members never said anything to Kevin about any restrictions before he and his girlfriend got on the ride. The president and COO of Universal Orlando Resort said in a letter this week to staff that the ride functioned as intended, that the equipment was intact, and that team members followed procedures.
Just because it didn't malfunction does not believe that there were not safety issues.
So as far as that specific claim regarding the restraints is concerned, we wanted to get the take of Universal and the Florida Department of Agriculture. So we reached out to both. Universal has yet to respond, but just within the last half hour, a spokesperson with the Department of Agriculture said it's an ongoing investigation and additional information will be released as it is available. So again, this was the first time we heard anything concerning the restraints. Will continue to follow should there be any updates on that front. But as Kevin's family waits for answers, they want to ensure that the Stardust Racers roller coaster remains closed, at least until an independent investigation is complete. Again, the Stardust Racers roller coaster has been closed since Kevin's death last Wednesday. We're live outside Universal tonight. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. We've been covering this story from the beginning. For the latest information, just visit clickorlando.com. We have a timeline of events covering everything from the death, investigation, and reaction. We have also a way to keep you up to date by downloading that free WKMG News app.
Right now, we are tracking a new tropical storm.
Yeah, just hours ago, this one formed in the Atlantic. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas has been tracking it for a little while now.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what are you seeing?
And the good thing with this one's going to stay away from us. It's going to stay away from the United States, but it might play a role in the other wave that we're tracking as they get close together and kind of dance around each other a little bit. This is the latest on Humberto, a 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It's going to move slow over the next couple of days. You see the lines very close together there by Saturday, still northeast of the Caribbean, and then the turn is going to speed up and strengthen a little bit, expected to at least become a Category 2 hurricane as it rounds the island of Bermuda. They are still into the cone. So this one, again, not a player, at least directly in our forecast, but we're watching this secondary wave that's made its way into the eastern Caribbean. Again, that red shaded area is going to go away because it has developed now, but this is going to be the development zone that we're watching closely. Again, all likelihood it works its way through the Caribbean and then tries to tug north, likely staying away from Florida, at least off the Florida coast, but it's going to be a close brush. We're keeping a close eye on it. We'll have much more on this and a few storms that are out there right now coming up at about 6:17, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, a morning announcement that involved a witchy wake-up video is under fire in Orange County. A religious group took notice and they demanded change. Your Winter Garden community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton, is at the school under the spotlight tonight.
Many parents that I spoke with at West Orange High School say that video that has garnered this attention did not mean that much to them. However, those with Liberty Counsel say it's a video that should have never been shared in the first place.
As parents at West Orange High School pick up their teens, there's also a discussion surrounding a video about witchcraft.
I think we can trust our families and our kids to make the right decisions.
This week, the legal group Liberty Counsel sent this letter to Orange County Public Schools over the Witchy Wednesday video series at the high school.
Liberty Counsel was contacted by students, faculty, and staff after they encountered the Witchy Wednesday on the closed circuit television system in the classroom. They were shocked by what they heard and saw.
The Liberty Counsel claims the high school video that aired during the mid-morning announcements made by students promoted religious instructions like gaining the light of insight, burning candles, spells, magic, and witchcraft rituals. Matt Staver with the council says they made their concerns clear and gave options for students who may have Christian beliefs.
We asked that those that wanted to opt out be allowed to opt out, and also that those who wanted a opposite viewpoint to be able to have the opportunity for students to do the same thing.
A response letter from the school district said the practice of airing the segments has been stopped because school sponsorship of a religious message could be construed as government speech and is not constitutionally allowed.
They should never open this closed circuit TV to this kind of ideological issue that is totally unrelated to the school day or to the school function.
However, a parent we spoke with says the announcement didn't make her concerned.
It wouldn't bother me for my kid to hear it because I trust her to make the right decisions too. A school if it's a public school, needs to have separation of church and state, and the parents need to influence their home life decisions.
And school officials say this video has been stopped. Now, they also said in this statement that they and this legal group have the same goal, which is for students' First Amendment rights to be respected. Reporting in West Orange County, I'm your community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
Well, this Volusia County couple was accused of ripping off customers by selling defective and leaky hot tubs. Following a News 6 investigation, the state of Florida permanently banned them from selling hot tubs. But are they violating that court order? News 6 investigator Mike DeForest captured exclusive video, and it is raising new questions.
This is Dylan Placker, and this is the truck Dylan Placker often drives. Our News 6 cameras recently captured this video of him pulling an empty trailer away from this Volusia County warehouse where several hot tubs are stored outside. When Placker returned hours later, there was something on the trailer. It was another hot tub. We do not know why Placker brought the hot tub here, and we don't know why his wife, Chelsea, joined him. What we do know is the couple is banned from selling hot tubs like this one in the state of Florida. They're not even allowed to be working on hot tubs.
I'm angry.
3 years ago, I began hearing from customers who say the Plackers sold them defective and leaky hot tubs on Facebook Marketplace. So the water just gushed out of this and onto the deck.
Yes, loads of it.
Following my News 6 investigation, Florida's Attorney General sued the Plackers for deceptive and unfair trade practices. The couple later settled that lawsuit and are now banned from working with or for any person or business that offers, sells, repairs, refurbishes, cleans, warrants, constructs, or otherwise provides any hot tub or spa. That's why this video of the Plackers is raising new questions. We've witnessed them at this warehouse several times. Besides the hot tubs outside, looking through the window, we could see even more, including this one. I found the same model being sold on Facebook Marketplace by someone using the name Ronaldo Kelp. Another Facebook Marketplace account, Sabrina Thompson, sold this hot tub. Surveillance video shows it being delivered to the buyer's home on the same trailer we saw Placker towing. After these delivery men unloaded the hot tub and left, the buyer, Rigel Forte, wrote this one-star review saying the item was not functioning and is leaking. The Plackers, seen here on a boat, originally told Florida's Attorney General they could not afford to pay back everything owed to their former customers. So the couple agreed to pay about $10,000 and promised to stay out of the hot tub business. If a judge finds the Plackers violated that agreement, the state can collect nearly $500,000 from them, possibly by seizing any boats, trucks, trailers, or other belongings they may own. Hi, Mr. Placker. Before getting abruptly disconnected, the Plackers denied ever visiting this warehouse, telling me, quote, "We are no longer in business." Just hours after that phone call, the boat we saw the Plackers using was put up for sale, priced to sell fast at $16K, on a Facebook Marketplace account that also happens to sell hot tubs. I've asked Florida's Attorney General if the Plackers' activity at this warehouse here may violate the settlement agreement that the couple signed. I have not yet received a response. Mike DeForest, News 6.
All right, we have much more coming up for you on News 6 at 6.
Including the struggles of animal shelters in Central Florida. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
There's some breaking news out of Brevard County tonight. Federal and local police are at the scene of an illegal firearm manufacturing operation. This is in Rockledge. This is all happening at a house on Clarence Rowe Avenue at Cedar Street. Rockledge police are warning people to stay out of that area. We'll have new details as we get them on air and on clickorlando.com.
Well, the cost of living, the cost of housing, these are problems not just for people, but pets too. Across Central Florida, animal shelters are struggling to do more with less, and overcrowding is not their only challenge. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, takes us inside the shelter there.
This is a final project.
Staff at Seminole County's Animal Services stay busy caring for the hundreds of pets that come through these doors.
We have almost 230 cats and dogs together.
And that's just today.
That's every day.
Division Manager Chris Stronko led us around the facility. This shelter operates at 130% capacity on average. There's an urgent need to find homes. There's also a need for other improvements.
The aging guillotine door systems.
The shelter isn't just overcrowded.
The whole thing is rotten. And this is because of the amount of bleach and chemicals we use in the facility.
It's overused.
A very big generator powers all this just so we can provide air conditioning.
It is extremely hot in the state of Florida. Can you imagine the heat inside of those shelters?
Alan Harris is the county's emergency manager. He oversees animal services.
This complex was never built for air conditions because back in the day, fans did the trick. It doesn't do the trick anymore. For us to bring in regular air conditioners and install that, it means a complete electrical redo of our system.
How much are we spending just to run that HVAC system?
For our temporary air conditioners, almost $200,000 a year.
With a new budget kicking in and a new property tax hike, there is talk of renovating this facility. The last time it was refurbished was in 2007 after a fire 18 years ago. What is the county's plan to start addressing this list of needs?
We're going to be developing a capital improvement master plan, and this will identify by priority the items that we need to do.
It sounds like you guys are making do with what you have, but it could be better.
The building that we have for adoptions and administration is old, so that's obviously going to take a little bit longer than maybe the air conditioning, electrical, and then the fences are a little bit faster. So it's all going to be timed out.
Harris says it won't be done tomorrow.
365 days a year of use.
But it will be sooner rather than later.
It takes its toll on stuff.
In Seminole County, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Yeah, if you live in Florida, you got to have AC everywhere.
No doubt about it.
200
just
grand.
a rule.
I'm going to quit complaining about my bill.
And you
That's
should.
it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. You're keeping an eye on a lot of things out there.
Yeah, one of them being still need the AC cranked up, unfortunately, after
yeah.
our little taste with fall. What was that? It seems like a year ago now. A couple of weeks ago, we had that little taste. It's gone.
For 3 hours.
For 3 hours. Yeah, the humidity surging back, the heat surging back, and it's feeling and looking a lot more like it should for the mid to late September standards in Central Florida. That's helping to get some storms going tonight. Certainly not as widespread or as intense as what we had last night. Watching a few thunderstorms, though, rolling down the I-4 corridor close to the Florida Turnpike and parts of Osceola County. The strongest storm that I have for you tonight, it's just to the west of us in Kenansville and Yeehaw Junction. It's drifting away, but maybe hearing the thunder, certainly seeing the darker clouds. Watching that little green line working back towards the Turnpike, that's what we call an outflow boundary, may help to get a couple of downpours going as that works back towards the Space Coast. I think everything, though, as a whole pushes back to the west and fizzles out tonight. I think a different story tomorrow, but to track the storms that are out there right now and to get the latest forecast, download that free News 6 weather app. It's a great tool. There's a lot of bells and whistles on there to help you track these storms. There's 5 to 6 o'clock for you. Tomorrow evening, we'll start to get things going, I think, a little bit later in the day, and that means a late afternoon, late evening thunderstorm possibility there. That's going to be 9 to 10 o'clock on your Thursday night. I think this is a little late into the evening. I think a few storms will linger, but in terms of the heaviest stuff out there, I think once we get towards the latter stages of the evening, we will start to watch that development chance go up. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Temperatures get back in the low to mid 90s again tomorrow. It's steamy out there. It's going to help to fuel those late evening thunderstorms tomorrow. Some of those again lingering very late. Rain chances at 60% for you tomorrow. Gorgeous first half of the day, at least dry and sunny. It is going to be warm and muggy for us in Maitland and Winter Park and all across Central Florida. By 9 o'clock, we're at 79 degrees. We're at 86 by 11, 88 degrees by 1. And then we're going to watch those storm chances really ramp up as we close in on dinner time and through the evening. Moisture is surging in over the next couple of days. This is tomorrow at lunchtime. It's out ahead of a cold front that does not come to Florida, but you see the green on the map again. That's that moisture surging back in from the Gulf, and that's going to help to support those thunderstorms as we move into the next couple of days, and we'll keep things elevated again in terms of those rain chances. 60% shot for downpours on Thursday, Friday into Saturday as well. Again, we're going to keep things pretty muggy over the next couple of days, so temperatures in the low to mid 90s. As far as that other tropical wave that we are watching, it's in the Eastern Caribbean. All those red lines, again, the different models that we look at, it looks like a lot on the screen. It certainly is. You see there's two camps here, one of them taking north into the east, keeping it away from Florida, although a close brush, which is why, again, we're watching it, but cautiously optimistic it's going to turn. Few of them want to take it back into the Western Caribbean. Certainly don't like that solution at all, so we're going to continue to watch it. Umberto, the new one that just formed, it's going to be a player in where that thing goes in the long term of its life, so keep a close eye on it for you. 60% shot for storms Thursday into Friday, 50% chance to start your weekend. Rain chances going down a little bit to the early stages of next work week. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to News 6. Wiping away a few tears today, UCF head coach Scott Frost talked about his assistant, Sean Clark. The Knights offensive line coach was a father, husband, mentor, and friend, a man that the Knights football team is grieving. Clark passed away Sunday at an Orlando hospital after suffering a medical emergency 2 weeks ago. Today, Scott Frost and his coordinators talked to the media for the first time since Clark's unexpected death.
Game planning was therapeutic for me. Hard to concentrate at times. Tuesday practice wasn't our best. I think it's just the emotion of everything drains you a little bit. Today's practice was really good, and you can feel the guys coming together and wanting to play for him and for each other.
As Scott Frost and his staff lean into the process of getting the Knights ready to play a game, they are grieving and remembering Sean Clark. The 50-year-old husband and father of two was a colleague, a friend, someone who had the gift of creating relationships and did his job with joy.
Sean's compassion and passion for his players and love for his players was real, and they knew that. And that's why he fit in so well here. And he was a perfect example of the type of man that I want in our building.
Was kind of the glue guy for the staff. Larger-than-life personality. Just incredible human being.
He sat next to me in team meetings, and there's a void, and I'm going to make real sure in my time here no one sits in that chair, which had nothing to do with me, but has everything to do with him.
He didn't hide it. He was who he was, and everything that was great about him shone through right away when I met him.
UCF plans to honor Clark with a helmet decal for Saturday's game at Kansas State.
You know, for those of us with faith, that's what we have to lean on. Sean had faith, and so our faith means that we know he's in a better place. I think it puts football in perspective. You know, one of my first messages to the team every year is, let's be great at football. Football's what we do. We love football. Football's not life.
Because of how much we all care about Coach Clark, we're going to get the work done. And we're going to do what it takes to prepare to win on Saturdays.
So the Knights kick off their Big 12 schedule this Saturday at noon against Kansas State. UCF is undefeated. Kansas State is 1-3. And I had the opportunity to talk to Sean Clark for about 5 to 10 minutes once. And I can tell you he is everything that they said he was. Just someone who you will remember, someone who was a positive influence, and someone who had time for everyone, even though coaches never have time. He did.
That's why people's hearts are so heavy about this
Absolutely,
one.
yep.
Thanks, Jamie.
More news coming up tonight at 9 o'clock on ClickOrlando.com and News 6 Plus.
See you then.